Announcements to go over. Our outside platforms are currently closed. We will open those platforms up once we get the okay from our conductor. Once you are out there, there's absolutely no crossing from car to car. Special welcome to all children 16 and under. You get to pick your favorite responsible adult, and they must accompany you everywhere, especially on those exterior platforms. This also goes for those husbands who act under the age of 16. We also do not allow smoking at any time during this trip, inside or outside, including electronic cigarettes, cigars, cigarettes, and vaporizers. If we do see you smoking, we will assume you're on fire and take action to put you out. We also do not allow the consumption of alcohol at any point during this trip, so if you brought something a little stronger, please tuck it away and save it for later. Please make sure you are watching your fingers and toes in the doorways. The doors can close abruptly with the motion of the train. As this is a very real train, we will be going up a very real mountainside. So please make sure and be aware of that as we are walking about. We always suggest 3 points of contact while moving about, inside or outside. And finally, please do not attempt to adjust the stoves in your car. If you need help with the temperature, please let one of our train staff know and they will be happy to assist you. You may have noticed an All Aboard magazine on your seat when you sat down. If you open it up to the very last page, you'll see a fold-out map of our journey today. We'll be starting in Skagway and heading all the way up to the White Pass summit at milepost 20.4. We're at an elevation of nearly 3,000 feet. Yes, this does mean we will be crossing into Canada, but no, you do not need your passport since we will not be leaving the train on our journey today. And for all of you wondering if you sat on the correct side of the train, congratulations, you did. We will be making a loop at the very top, so you will be seeing both sides of our journey today. With those announcements out of the way, I would like to introduce our crew today. Up front in the yellow and green engines driving our train, we have engineer J.T. Thomas. We won't be seeing too much of him as he is going to be making sure we are staying on track and getting to where we need to go. Our conductor today is Mike Curtin. You will see him walking around with a gold conductor's hat. And with him today is brakewoman Zoe Gardner. You'll see her walking around in a silver brakeman's cap. My name is Liz, and I am centrally located in the middle of the train, and I will be your narrator and tour guide today. If there's any delay in what I say and when you see it, that is just because I am saying it early enough so the very front of the train has time to get out their camera and snap a photo. But don't worry, with me today is Tim and Amanda, two very knowledgeable roaming tour guides today. If they haven't done so already, they will be by shortly to introduce themselves. Now with those announcements and introductions out of the way, sit back, relax, and enjoy the journey. Shops. Here at White Pass, we have some very skilled mechanics that are working roughly 21 hours a day to maintain our 19 diesel engines, our one steam locomotive, as well as 85 plus coach cars. They all get tucked into bed here at night. the Gold Rush Cemetery. Now, this is the oldest cemetery here in Skagway, where quite a few of the early settlers and stampeders that we'll be talking about in just a few moments are buried today. And Yukon Route Railway is intertwined with the history of the Klondike Gold Rush. August 16, 1896, Skookum Jim, Dawson Charlie, George Carmack, and his wife Kate Carmack made the discovery that would change the course of history. Gold had been found in the Klondike. The news spread like wildfire, and the world went mad with gold rush fever. Stampeders poured into the Alaskan tent towns of Skagway and nearby Dyea from all around the world. You see, the world was still reeling from the Depression of '93, and those who could jumped at the opportunity to head north and try their luck and find some gold for themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, you may have noticed some side track to our left of our train. We will be passing two of our sister trains that are coming down the mountain here. So if you'd like to get a great train shot in motion, go ahead and get out your cameras, as we will be passing two of our sister trains on our left-hand side. Ladies and gentlemen, I have also heard from our conductor that those exterior platforms are now open. Please remember that there is no crossing from car to car. You will see a thin metal bridge connecting those cars. That is called the apron. It is movable and it does move as we are moving, so please watch your toes and do not step on this. You'll also see a chain between each car. This is not meant for you to be grabbing or leaning against, as it is not weight-bearing. And of course, as there is limited platform space, please make sure we are rotating in and out with our fellow train car passengers, as no one likes a platform hog.
I'm here to offer this map in other languages. So if you want one of these, let me know. Or if you want to learn a new language, you have options. So let me know. But there is bottled water in the back of the car. Those are complimentary, so help yourselves to those. And the restroom is right up here. It is a little different. To flush it, there is a lever in the back. You have to give the lever a good amount of pumps before it flushes. So don't give up on the pumping part, okay? It will run out, but just keep going. So that's it. Hope you all enjoy the ride, and let me know if you need it. All right. What's that? Another magazine? There are more up there as well. Oops, sorry.
Well, the gold rush happened in 1897. Yeah. The gold rush started in 96, and then 2 years later it started.
At the start of the gold rush, there were two main routes to get to the gold fields. One was the White Pass Trail here that we will be loosely following today, and the other was the Chilkoot Trail just west of Skagway and nearby Dyea. The Chilkoot Trail, commonly known as the Golden Staircase, was the shorter of the two, but much steeper, straight up the mountainside at times. The White Pass Trail was longer and less steep and was advertised as being ideal for pack animals. Now this was dead wrong. Many places on the trail were narrow paths with rock walls on one side and sheer drop-offs on the other. Men and animals alike struggled with either route. An old prospector summed up the choice between the Chilkoot and the White Pass by saying, "There ain't no choice. One's hell and the other's damnation. No matter which way you went, you always wish you'd gone the other way." Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we have stopped, please remember to stay on board as we are just waiting for our second sister train to pass us on the left-hand side.
Yeah. I think right here is two, but watch we'll get up there and there'll just be one track.
There was always a big misconception that gold was found here in Skagway. Gold was actually found 600 miles away up near Dawson City in the Yukon. The reason that people had to come through Skagway as they sailed as far north as they could, then they got off and started to hike across the rigorous mountain terrain, and that happened to be here in Skagway. So as they sailed into Skagway, they then had to hike, and they either took one of two routes, the Chilkoot Trail or the White Pass Trail. After they hiked that trail, they had to go all the way 20 miles past the summit to Lake Bennett, where they had to figure out how to construct a boat. Now, I don't know about you folks, but I know nothing about constructing a boat. So they had to figure out how to construct it, sail across Lake Bennett and down the Yukon River 550 miles to then reach the gold fields in Rabbit Creek, where they actually found the gold. Now, early stampeders headed to the gold fields were very unprepared for the conditions they found there. Many struggled with the harsh conditions and lack of food available. This is why the Northwest Mounted Police in Canada required every person crossing the border into Canada to bring with them a ton of goods. Now, this was a literal ton, as it weighed roughly 2,000 pounds to provision themselves for a year. The Stampeders were responsible for getting the goods from Skagway to the goldfields up in the Klondike. Now, here in the White Pass Trail, that was roughly 30 to 40 trips going up and down to bring all of their goods just to the top of the pass. So just hiking the White Pass Trail, they were looking at 3 to 6 months of just transporting goods. And then they had to hike the additional 20 miles to Lake Bennett, where they had to then construct that boat and then sail on. So will soon be approaching Denver Station. We're going to have a few great views. Up on our right, we will see the Denver Caboose Cabin. It's a refurbished 1960s caboose that was retired by White Pass and donated to the Park Service. The cabin sleeps 6 people and is an adventure in itself. For around $50 a night, you can stay in the caboose and enjoy a hike afterwards up to the Denver Glacier. Now, as we cross the river, the Skagway River, we will have a few great views. On the right-hand side, we will have the Denver Valley, and on the left-hand side, we will have the Skagway River, as well as a beautiful shot of our train engines in motion curving around to the left.
Oh, they're right there? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I see what you're talking about. At first I didn't see it. At first
Fog.
there's fog, look.
Smog.
There's smog. It's just not smog. It's fog, Bubba. I know packers up there.
a gap in the trees where we will have a beautiful view down into the Skagway Harbor. Now, as soon as you grab a great picture of the harbor, don't forget to look over your left shoulder and see all the way into the Denver Valley where we just came from, and you can even see the bridge we just crossed. Rocky Point. Rocky Point is a 20,000-ton plug of granite that we had to blow through to make way for the railroad tracks. It took 40 cars full of blasting powder just to blow through this quarter-mile section here. Now that was over half of the allotted blasting powder for the entire 110-mile train ride. To the left and all the way across the valley, you will see a road. This is the South Klondike Highway. Now, Skagway is very unique as it is one of 3 Southeast Alaskan towns that you can actually drive to. You may notice a few bikers or cars over there. Definitely be sure to give them a wave. They may be taking pictures of us. As well as if you look all the way down to the left into the valley below, you'll see the Skagway River. We are coming up on a section of the Skagway River that is Class 6 rapids that have not been successfully navigated. We are also coming on to our whirlpool section, so make sure you're keeping an eye out for those on our left-hand side all the way down into the valley. alley, you will see a blue roof building. Now this is Skagway's local IHOP, International House of Passports, otherwise known as the U.S. Customs Building. Now I know what you're all thinking. Liz, can we really be in Canada already? And the truth is no. The border is another 12 miles down the pass. The reason it's right here is due to the extreme weather conditions at the border, that they wanted to bring it down to a more milder climate, as well as more available to more resources, so the employees didn't have to go as far each day. Of track, keep your eyes peeled on the right-hand side of the train for some seasonal waterfalls. Now these waterfalls can change up to each day as well, so definitely keep your eyes peeled.
See one right every day in front of me. It's the one they donated to the national park.
left-hand side of the train, looking down into the valley, you will see Black Cross Rock. During the construction in 1898, Algernon and Maurice Dunn, two of the construction workers, were working on a section of track where there was a granite rock that overhang the rail grade. Now, this rock came tumbling down and unfortunately crushed both Al and Maurice and their pack animals. The boulder fell right up ahead to the left of the tracks. Workers cleared some rubble but were unable to move the 500-ton boulder. Michael J. Haney, who was the foreman of the railroad, had a black cross depicted and put on the boulder that the men are entombed to this day to honor them. He also said, "No railroad worker could want a finer monument than that." So coming up here on the right-hand side, there'll be a gap in the trees where we can look sharply down about 50 feet below track to see that black cross with a bed of yellow flowers sitting on what looks like a grassy knoll, but is actually a 500-ton boulder. the left-hand side of the train, we will have a gap in the trees where we will have a beautiful view all the way across the valley to Bridalveil Falls, which is actually a 6,000-foot long waterfall. Now, as it does wrap around the mountain, we can only see sections of it, but this view can only be seen from the train. Our wooden trestle bridge that was originally built in 1899. Now, if you're feeling a little nervous about that bridge, don't worry. We'll cross it when we get there. construction of the railway almost didn't happen. A British investment company named the Close Brothers sent 3 engineers to assess the White Pass Trail and determine if a railway could be built there. These men were Sir Thomas Tancred, Esdras Hawkins, and John Hislop. They sat in the lobby of the St. James Hotel in Skagway discussing the proposed venture and were ready to send back a negative report when they noticed a man checking into the hotel. Upon inquiring, they discovered this man was Michael J. Haney, an experienced railroad builder, and he had just completed his own survey of the trail. Over whiskey and cigars, they discussed the possibility of a railway through the mountains. Haney was impressed with the possibility of a railway, stating, "This country needs this railroad, and quite aside from the commercial aspect, you will have the most scenic railway in the world." Now, Tancred, Hawkins, and Hislop were convinced. They sent a favorable report back to Close, claiming the undertaking has a magnificent future. And as you can see today, it certainly did. Station. Now this is a very popular hiking spot as well, where you can be dropped off and hiked up to Lawton Glacier with one of our other tours. As we won't be picking up or dropping anyone off, we will be crossing the Skagway River. On the right-hand side, we will have the Warm Valley, and on the left-hand side, we will have the Skagway River rushing underneath us. And of course, we'll have a beautiful view of the train in motion to the left as we curve around. Section, we'll have a great view of our box canyons to the right side of the train. Looking straight up, just after this section of trees, you'll have a beautiful view of those box canyons. And of course, if you're looking at the left-hand side, we'll have a beautiful view to the valley below. section that we like to call Tunnel Mountain. It's very accurately named as we will be going through not one, but two tunnels on our northbound journey. The first tunnel was made using the state-of-art technology during the gold rush, the steam drill. They used drills day and night for 3 months to clear the path that the tracks lay in this 250-foot-long tunnel. But before we go through that tunnel, we will be crossing over that wooden trestle bridge that was originally built in 1899. Now, if you're feeling a little nervous about the height, don't worry. There's a trickling waterfall on the right-hand side as we cross that bridge that you can look at, or you can admire the interior of your train car. Now, as this tunnel is dark, please make sure you are holding on and or sitting down. of the original White Pass Trail that was nicknamed Dead Horse Gulch. The most popular pack animals during the gold rush were horses. Most of these horses were sent to Skagway, not Newfoundland. In fact, most of them were bought for 25 cents or less and were saved from the glue factory. Most miners and stampeders had no experience in taking care of horses, and frankly, they didn't care. They were more concerned in getting their goods to the gold fields. Author Jack London said, horses died like mosquitoes in the first frost, and from Skagway to Bennett, they rotted in heaps. This gulch was named after the nearly 3,000 pack animals that were worked to death in the rush to find gold. Now, I don't say this to sadden you, I just like to give a real depiction of how life was back during the gold rush.
Just a tad, not too bad. It's a wonderful day. Occasionally, we're just really loud and the vibrations scare most wildlife away. So sometimes we'll see that, but usually it's like their bums running away. So, but yeah, it's a wild still, so you never know what you see.
You will see our steel cantilever bridge that was built in 1901. This was the highest steel cantilever bridge in North America at its time. Now, don't worry, this bridge is not just rickety, it is very rickety, and we will not be going over it as it was retired back in 1969. We will be crossing a replacement bridge and going through our second tunnel of our northbound journey. Now, as we come around the bridge, we'll have a few great views of it. And as we cross our replacement bridge, we'll have a great view of the steel cantilever bridge with the Skagway River rushing underneath it. As well, to our left and as to our right, we will have a beautiful view of the Skagway River crawling up the valley. Now, as we enter this tunnel, it is longer and darker, so we have nicknamed it our Long Dark Tunnel. So please make sure you are sitting down and or holding on.
there. Hello. Looks like it's got at least one more. Run through it.
Looking to the left and down into the valley, you will see what looks like a hiking trail with a sign that says Trail of 98. This is a section of the original White Pass Trail that the stampeders and miners traveled back during the gold rush. Now, this path is no wider than the seat you are currently sitting on and was meant for two-way traffic with packs and pack animals. They say if you got out of line to tie your shoe or pick something up, you were standing there for 2 hours up to all day waiting to be let back into line, as one person in front of them wasn't that much closer to the gold. U.S. and Canadian border. Up on a hill, you will see the U.S. flag and the Canadian flag with a bronze obelisk that marks the official border between the two countries. Just after the border, you will see a replica cabin that the Northwest Mounted Police used to check and make sure everyone had their 1 ton of goods to cross into Canada. Now, if someone didn't have their one item on this list or were missing a few things, they were sent back down the pass into Skagway to collect those items and come back up the pass. You'll also see 5 flags out front of the replica cabin. In this order, you'll see the U.S. flag, Alaskan flag, British Columbian flag, Yukon flag, and the Canadian flag. Roughly 4 miles long and is about 150 feet at its deepest point. Now for all you fishermen out there, yes, there is fish in this lake. You will find lake trout and Arctic grayling. Two roaming guides, Amanda and Tim. The next time you see them, they won't be empty-handed. They will have a few souvenirs that we sell here on the train. If you would like to preview these items, please take a peek at the very back of your All Aboard magazine. The first item they will have will be our very stylish White Pass and Yukon Route baseball style hat. Now this hat is very coveted as it can only be purchased here on a train from one of us. It has our logo on the front, the year that you wrote it on the bill, and a Velcro closure that makes this hat one size fits most. The hat will be $10 today, and you can't even get it in our depot. We will also have a 105-minute DVD of today's journey and beyond, with extra footage all the way up to our car cross station. This DVD is shot in all 4 seasons, is fully narrated, and does work internationally. Now the DVD will be $15 today. But wait, if you would like to purchase both the DVD and the hat, we will bring that price down to an even $20. But wait, there's even more. We'll even throw in a 32-page scenic picture book full of beautiful sights of the White Pass journey. Now, Tim and Amanda will only have time to come through each car once and one time only, and will only be able to accept American folding cash. And they do prefer exact change, but they can make some small amount of change if needed. Now, if you are interested in these items, please have your money out and ready as Amanda and Tim come through, and they will only have time to come through once. Summit Lake once again, as we have come around from that loop. So from here, we'll be heading down the mountain. Now, as we do head down, there may be a few extra bumps, jolts, and creaks. As we do come down the mountain, the train was stretched out on our way up, and so we're now coming back down in an intense state compressed. So don't worry, as you are moving about through the train car or outside, do advise that you have 3 points of contact at all times. We will be pausing here briefly so our engineer and our conductor can work out some paperwork, and then we'll be on our way. Trail of 1898, where those stampeders walked up and down the summit up to 30 or 40 times. Southbound journey. We will be heading back through that long, dark tunnel here, so please make sure you are holding on and or sitting down before we enter it. And as soon as we get out of that tunnel, we will have our steel cantilever bridge to our right-hand side. One more time. This engineering marvel put our scenic railway on the list of International Historic Civil Engineering Landmarks list. Along with us is the Eiffel Tower, the Panama Canal, and even the Statue of Liberty. This bridge was built in the dead of winter, where there was only about 4 hours of sunlight and temperatures that reached 40 below zero. Now this bridge was built by lamplight, and men had to work in 1-hour shifts and rotate in and out of warming tents to prevent frostbite and illness.
Well,
trails carved out of the mountainside during the gold rush. As soon as we come out of that tunnel, please have your cameras ready. We'll have a great shot of the train in motion to the right. We'll also have that beautiful view as we cross the wooden trestle bridge down into the valley. And of course, if you're still feeling a little nervous about those heights, we will have that trickling waterfall, this time on the left-hand side of the train. Now, as we do go into the tunnel, please make sure we are holding on and or sitting down, as it is still very dark in there. To the right and across the valley, you'll see one of our sister trains coming up. We will be meeting them here in just a few minutes and passing them.
like there are some specific things they maybe bring, so like a knife and a whip saw and like a certain amount of pounds of good or food that they have to bring with them. It's dependent on what kind of food you want. So you can have more flour instead of beef, or you can have more beef and flour as long as it's a certain amount of food. They're all other. They had to build a boat, yeah. So you can definitely take more than they.
We are coming back through Glacier Station. We'll have a few great views as we cross the Skagway River. On the left, we'll have a view of the Warm Valley, and on the right, we'll have a view of the train in motion as well as the Skagway River. Not one, but two of our sister trains here on our left-hand side. So make sure, get your cameras out if you want to grab a picture of them, grabbing pictures of us, taking pictures of them. came down from, along with that wooden trestle bridge. Now, between us and the wooden trestle bridge, down in the valley, there once was White Pass City. Now, White Pass City was a tent city that our construction workers lived in. Now, looking up from the valley to the highline section, it's a pretty good distance that those construction workers had to hike every single day before their shift started with all of their equipment. Now, once the construction of the White Pass Railroad was complete up to the pass, White Pass City ceased to exist, and the tent city moved on to the summit where construction continued. The 6,000-foot long waterfalls that you can only be seen here from the train. or due to illness. Of those handful, we have Al Janot and Maurice Dunn, where we are coming up onto Black Cross Rock. It'll be on our right-hand side. Now this is the spot where those two gentlemen were crushed by that boulder during construction. Our cue for this, we're going to see a sign that says Black Cross at track level. We're going to look down into the valley, roughly 50 feet, and we'll see that Black Cross with a bed of yellow flowers. right, you will see the U.S. Customs Building once again. Underneath the Customs Building, you'll see a phrase, "On to Alaska with Buchanan." Now, this has nothing to do with Gold Rush, but it's just a good story. George Buchanan was a coal merchant in the 1920s and 1930s in Detroit, Michigan. He started a program for young men and eventually young women to take trips up to Alaska. Now, to pay for this trip, George Buchanan made a deal with the students. Each student had to raise a third of the cost to get on the trip. So to do this, they created some of the first lemonade stands, random tasks for their neighbors, and of course they even sold things door to door. Now, if their parents could, they would foot the other third of the bill, and then of course George Buchanan would pick up the rest of the tab. Each trip he took between 50 and 60 students for 15 years. Years later, after his death, the Buchanan Boys, as they were referred to, came back and painted the 6-foot-tall slogan on the rocks to honor George Buchanan. Now, as we are slowing down here, we will be coming off to a side track where we will be passing 2 more of our sister trains today.
that's good. And trim. It's the last mistake of the flag. To design. Many
We should have given that pen back to the guy. We should have kept it. They had dozen pulleys.
Send that one to well, the kids are
100,000 people came in search for gold up in the Klondike. Roughly of those, only 40,000 actually made it. And of those, only a few thousand found any gold, and only a handful found enough to be wealthy and earn the title of a Klondike King. The majority of people walked away empty-handed with a fun adventure story to share. Here at White Pass, it took 2 years, 2 months, and 2 days to complete the 110-mile railway that was deemed impossible to build, but here we are. Even though we didn't use the railroad for its original purpose of bringing those stampeders up into the gold fields, I still enjoy our time on the scenic railway of the world. Now comes my favorite part of the journey. This is where I get to stand up, come meet you all face to face, and where you get to put a face to the voice that you've been listening to on our journey today. As I come through, I'll be making my way to the very front of the train, so if I breeze past you, don't be offended. I'm just making my way up to the front so I can greet you all properly. If you have any last-minute questions, this will be the perfect opportunity to get those answered, as well as if you have any of those comment cards filled out. Those comment cards can be located in either the front or the back of your train car in a clear wall mount. But don't worry, I won't be leaving the mic unattended. Amanda has agreed to take us the rest of the way down into Skagway. So without further ado, here's Amanda, and I'll see you all shortly.
Amanda taking over the mic for Liz. As Liz makes her way up to the front of the train, I want to take this opportunity to tell you a little bit more about your train narrator today. Liz, when she's not working on the train, loves hiking around the beautiful mountains here in Skagway, and she also volunteers for the fire department in the town of Skagway. As Liz comes through your cars, this will be your chance to ask her any last minute questions, or if you fill out a comment card, she can collect those. But if you have enjoyed your ride today and Liz's narration, this will be your opportunity to thank your tour guide. Point. And this is where it took 250 tons of black blasting powder. Once we exit Rocky Point, we'll have that wonderful view of the Denver Valley along with the view of Skagway. And today we would like to dedicate this beautiful view to Robert and Linda, who are celebrating their 50th anniversary. Happy anniversary, Robert and Linda. We also want to give a shout out to anyone else who may be celebrating an anniversary or birthday on board with us today.
face to the voice that you
We are now coming back into the town of Skagway. So at this time, our outside platforms are now closed. The only thing wrong with this announcement is that anyone outside on those platforms can't hear me. So if you see anyone outside on those platforms, please let them know that it's time to come inside and to take a seat. I will be going over our arrival plans here shortly.
And if you have any last minute questions, I'd be more than happy to answer those. And of course, pick up any comment cards if you have those filled out. But on behalf of our entire staff, thank you for joining us today. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. It goes a little farther into our Fraser Meadows. There it comes back. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today.
As soon as you got out, you were closed now. Wasn't everybody was out there.
So if you are not from the Ovation, then you will want to get off at our very first stop. Now, if you are from the Ovation, you can either step off the train at our first stop in town, or you can stay on board and we will take you back to your ship. We will be stopped at our depot long enough to offload passengers only. There will not be enough time to step off the train and then reboard. So if you decide to get off the train at the depot, don't worry about making it back to your cruise ship. It only takes about 10 minutes to walk back to your ship, or you can use our city transit, the Smart Shuttle. There are stops all around town marked with blue signs that say Smart Bus. It stops at each cruise ship dock so they can take you to and from the dock. It costs $2 per person per ride, or $5 for an all-day pass. On page 20 of your All Aboard magazine, you can find a map of town. So please take a moment to discuss with your party to decide if you will be stepping off at our first stop in town or at the second stop, which is the Ovation. Now, as we pull into our depot in town, we have one last very important safety announcements. We need all of you to
What'd you
please
wanna
stay
do?
on board and in your seats until you hear from me or you see one of our train crew wave you off that it's safe to exit. It takes a few moments for our brakeman and conductor to put down the steps of each car, and they cannot do that if you're outside on those platforms. So this is a great opportunity to double check and make sure you have all of your belongings. So remember to take your hats and sunglasses, children, cameras, or spouses, or anything else that you brought on board with you. Some of the cars have those overhead racks, so you can double check those as well. But when it comes time to exit our train,